1. Colbert and Stewart face uncertain future amid Skydance-Paramount merger. 2. Democrats demand FCC vote on Paramount-Skydance merger. What's at stake? 3. Why the FCC is still holding up the Paramount-Skydance merger. Trump settlement isn't enough. 4. Jon Stewart calls out Paramount's Trump settlement. Late Night Showdown. 5. Unpacking new Paramount, merger chaos, spin-offs, and deal flow impact. 1. Colbert and Stewart face uncertain future amid Skydance-Paramount merger. The Skydance-Paramount merger is turning late-night TV into a battleground, with two of Donald Trump's fiercest critics, Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, now at risk of losing their platforms. A new report by veteran media analyst Oliver Darcy warns that as the deal nears completion, the future of these shows could hinge on whether the new owners prioritize business or politics. This is the part most people miss. The line between corporate strategy and political pressure is dangerously thin. But here's where it gets controversial. Stewart recently faced backlash for slamming Paramount's $16 million settlement with Trump, calling it shameful. Just as he finished his rant, the show cut to a fake Arby's ad, mocking the idea that Comedy Central might censor its own host. Did they? Son of a bitch, Stewart exclaimed, playing along with the absurdity while subtly highlighting the hypocrisy of corporate control. Later, he brought on Steve Croft, who called the settlement a shakedown, a term that suggests coercion, not fairness. Inside The Daily Show, staffers saw Stewart's bold move as a triumph, proving he's willing to challenge powerful interests, even if it risks his job. This risk isn't hypothetical. Darcy notes that some industry insiders believe the Ellisons might be tempted to remove Stewart and Colbert as a gift to Trump. What better way to appease him than to silence his biggest critics? One source suggested. But Skydance insists its focus is purely business. Yet, as Darcy points out, it's hard to separate the two. The Trump 60 Minutes lawsuit already cost CBS executives their jobs, and Trump has hinted at a side deal involving free ads for his causes. Colbert's situation is even more precarious. As CBS's top late-night star, he's a prime target. Last fall, Trump called him not funny and demanded his contract be terminated. Some in the industry think the Ellisons might indirectly pressure CBS to act. Do I want to keep doing this, knowing management won't have my back? One insider asked. Colbert could walk away easily, but the stakes are high. The Ellisons could claim neutrality while effectively silencing two of Trump's loudest critics. That scenario would send a powerful message. Comedians who mock political figures might face consequences. As late-nighters Bill Carter put it, if that happened, it would be a huge statement about where we are in the country. So what's next? Will the Ellisons stick to their business plan, or will they take a political stance? The answer could reshape late-night TV and the political landscape for years to come. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Democrats demand FCC vote on Paramount-Skydance merger. What's at stake? Democrats urge FCC's trustee to address Paramount merger. In a significant move, Democratic Senators Ed Markey from Massachusetts and Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico are advocating for a public vote regarding the proposed merger between Paramount and Skydance. This request is directed towards Olivia Trusty, the newest Republican member of the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. The urgency of this appeal is underscored by a recent settlement between Paramount and former President Donald Trump, which revolved around the political coverage provided by CBS News, a network owned by Paramount. This development raises important questions about media ownership and its implications for political discourse. But here's where it gets controversial. The merger could significantly impact the landscape of media and entertainment, potentially leading to fewer voices in the industry. As the FCC considers this merger, the senators are emphasizing the need for transparency and public involvement in the decision-making process. This situation invites a broader discussion about the role of large media conglomerates in shaping public opinion and the importance of regulatory oversight. What do you think? Should the FCC prioritize public votes on such significant mergers? Join the conversation in the comments. 3. Why the FCC is still holding up the Paramount-Skydance merger. Trump's settlement isn't enough. The ongoing saga surrounding the merger between Paramount and Skydance Media is far from over, despite the recent resolution of a lawsuit involving Donald Trump. You might think that with the legal hurdles cleared, the $8 billion deal would sail through, But the reality is much more complicated. The lawsuit, initiated by Trump when he was president-elect, accused CBS of manipulating an interview with Kamala Harris, his opponent in the 2024 election. This legal action was perceived as a significant obstacle to securing approval from the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, for the merger. Now that the lawsuit has concluded with a settlement favorable to Trump, totaling $16 million in cash, and the promise of additional public service advertisements supporting his agenda, one might expect the FCC to give the green light for the merger. This would be a relief for Paramount's financially strained controlling shareholder, Shari Redstone, and others involved in the deal. However, the FCC, led by Chairman Brendan Carr, who was appointed by Trump, is not likely to make the approval process straightforward for those involved in the merger. Carr, a seasoned telecom lawyer and conservative advocate, has a strong belief that mainstream media often disregards the FCC's public interest regulations that govern local television broadcasting. In the past, the FCC may not have scrutinized what constitutes public interest very closely, but Carr has taken a different approach. In Carr's perspective, while the First Amendment grants CBS and its affiliates the freedom to publish content as they see fit, it does not automatically guarantee them approval for local broadcast licenses. He interprets public interest to mean that news coverage should be free from political bias. This is where things get particularly contentious. Critics argue that when news programs exhibit bias, especially during critical election periods, the FCC has the authority to deny local broadcast licenses and block mergers like the one between Paramount and Skydance. For years, conservatives have voiced concerns about perceived bias in television news and the violation of FCC rules. But Carr is the first to take these claims seriously. He appears determined to use CBS as a case study as he evaluates the merger between Paramount and Skydance. Interestingly, Trump's lawsuit against CBS bears a striking resemblance to a complaint filed by a conservative legal organization, the Center for American Rights, which prompted the FCC to investigate CBS and created additional hurdles for the merger. According to sources familiar with the FCC's inner workings, while Trump secured some concessions from CBS, such as financial compensation and a commitment to transparency in interview transcripts, Carr is likely to demand even more stringent measures. This could include the appointment of an ombudsman to oversee news content and possibly relocating some of CBS's operations away from its traditionally liberal strongholds in New York, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. Carr has also expressed a desire to support local news, as affiliate stations have been complaining about rising fees imposed by CBS for content. This could lead to CBS being compelled to offer more favorable terms to its affiliates. Ultimately, the decision on how to proceed will largely rest with David Ellison, the head of Skydance and the future owner of CBS once the merger is finalized. It's important to note that this merger is expected to be approved, albeit with certain conditions that Ellison may find acceptable, even if they provoke backlash from progressive critics who remain within CBS News. The timeline for this approval remains somewhat uncertain. The merger has a deadline of October, and it has recently received a final 90-day extension to finalize the details. The FCC is expected to discuss potential remedies related to the Center for American Rights complaint in the coming week. Meanwhile, Ellison reportedly longs for the days of hard-hitting journalism that CBS was known for, harking back to the legacy of Edward R. Murrow. Sources indicate that he would welcome any changes that could help depoliticize the newsroom. Both Ellison and the FCC have refrained from commenting on the potential remedies being considered, leaving many questions unanswered. As this situation unfolds, it raises important discussions about media bias, regulatory oversight, and the future of journalism in America. What do you think? Should the FCC impose stricter regulations on media companies to ensure unbiased reporting? Or does this infringe on their First Amendment rights? Share your thoughts in the comments. 4. Jon Stewart calls out Paramount's Trump settlement. Late Night Showdown. What if your favorite truth-telling comedian suddenly vanished from airwaves? Jon Stewart kicked off Monday's The Daily Show with blistering honesty, slamming Paramount's settlement with Donald Trump as downright shameful. But here's where it gets surreal. Right as Stewart delved deeper, a mock Arby's had hijacked the screen, cutting off his critique of Comedy Central's corporate parent. Did they? Son of a bitch. Stewart quipped, playing along while subtly exposing a chilling reality. Corporate censorship might silence critical voices during this media upheaval. Later, Stewart doubled down, hosting X-60 Minutes reporter Steve Croft for a no-holds-barred chat. Croft minced no words. It was a shakedown. Behind the scenes, Daily Show's staff reportedly swell with pride at Stewart's courage to challenge power, even if it risks his job. But here's the twist industry insiders debate. How long can Stewart keep this platform when the ground beneath media giants is cracking? And this is the part most people miss. It's not just Stewart in the crosshairs. Stephen Colbert's future wobbles too. Skydance, spearheaded by Larry and David Ellison, is closing its Paramount merger within weeks. While headlines focus on their plans to purge liberal taint from CBS News, including David Ellison's talks with Bari Weiss, first reported by Status, one explosive question remains unanswered. What happens to comedy's fiercest truth-tellers? Now, consider this controversy. Should corporate mergers dictate what comedians can satirize? Does neutralizing bias risk silencing dissent? Share your take below. We're listening. Please scarlight the rest of this deep dive, including exclusive insights on media's seismic power shifts, is for subscribers. Want the full picture? Scoop-driven journalism and razor-sharp analysis await. No wonder the Wall Street Journal crowned Status a must-read. Already subscribed? Sign in here. https://www.status.news/login. A subscription unlocks. White heavy checkmark nightly newsletters dissecting the Fourth Estate, Silicon Valley, Hollywood, and information wars. White heavy checkmark hand-picked links to industry-shaping stories. White heavy checkmark unlimited access to our treasure trove of past editions. Sparkle's big reveal. Our podcast, Power Lines, launches soon. Produced with audio legend Chris Corcoran's in the Arena Studios, it's hosted by me and executive editor John Pasantino. We'll decode how media, tech, and Hollywood moguls, like those gathering in Sun Valley, manipulate the information economy. Get the full scoop via Variety's exclusive. https://variety.com/2025/news/darcy-news-letter-power-lines-podcast-launch-12364492875. 5. Unpacking new Paramount, merger chaos, spin-offs, and deal flow impact. Prepare yourselves for a deep dive into the unfolding drama at new Paramount, a saga so intricate it rivals the most gripping television serials. We're talking about the potential organizational shakeup, the whispers of lucrative spin-offs, and the outright chaos currently swirling around deal negotiations. It's a story of high stakes, big personalities, and an industry holding its breath. And this is the part most people miss: the human element, the palpable fear and uncertainty rippling through the ranks. Before we unravel the latest twists, for those of you who track the intricate dance of agents, shrewd lawyers, and the industry's most influential dealmakers, remember that I consistently provide exclusive insights for our paid subscribers. I recently unveiled a 3-part exposé on the evolving landscape of TV deals, exploring the surprising resurgence of independent production pacts and the innovative rise of showveralls and mini first looks. I even broke the news on Apple's groundbreaking new back-end deals designed specifically for writers. This article serves as the second installment of our comprehensive look into the impending changes at what's being dubbed New Paramount. Previously, Leslie Goldberg offered a fascinating exploration of the industry's palpable excitement and high expectations surrounding the future regime under Cindy Holland, as she prepares to step into a pivotal post-merger leadership role. It truly feels like a full-circle moment, doesn't it? Paramount Global, a company historically synonymous with pioneering the television soap opera, finds itself entangled in a merger with Skydance Media that has weathered more dramatic twists and turns than an entire season of As the World Turns. The irony is not lost on anyone following this epic corporate drama. Just about a year ago, a significant move was made. The Ellison family, comprising David Ellison and his illustrious billionaire father, Oracle founder Larry Ellison, alongside Jerry Cardinale's Redbird Capital Partners, orchestrated an $8 billion bid. Their objective? To acquire Sherry Redstone's National Amusements and, in parallel, merge Skydance with Paramount. This ambitious transaction effectively places the valuation of the envisioned new Paramount at a staggering $28 billion. Furthermore, it designates David Ellison as the incoming CEO and Jeff Shell, the former NBC Universal chief, as the new president. However, the completion of this monumental deal hinges on the FCC's approval of the broadcast license transfer, a process that has currently stretched to an astonishing 237 days, significantly exceeding the typical 180-day timeline. But here's where it gets controversial. This extended wait has undeniably fueled a significant amount of unease. Leading up to the initial target closing date of April 7th, I found both lawyers and agents I consulted for my Q1 deals analysis to be noticeably agitated. Many of their clients, those fortunate enough to have a choice, were actively avoiding engagement with either company due to the pervasive uncertainty. And for those who did bring projects to the table, the consensus was that negotiations proved far more challenging and arduous than usual. It's a classic case of market freeze when the future is so ambiguous. Despite the recent triggering of the second automatic 90-day extension on Monday, and setting aside the widespread criticism directed at Paramount for its $16 million settlement of an unrelated lawsuit with Donald Trump, an issue that has sparked its own heated debate, Hollywood dealmakers, surprisingly, largely anticipate the merger will ultimately close. It's worth noting that Trump himself has claimed to have a separate, side agreement with David Ellison, alleging he secured a commitment for public service announcements from the company, valued at an additional $16 million or more. Paramount, however, has vehemently denied making any such pledge. This discrepancy alone could spark a firestorm of discussion. With the protracted waiting period seemingly drawing to a close within the next 3 months, I've started compiling some preliminary responses from my ongoing Q2 deals survey, and I urge you to contribute your insights via this link. Additionally, I've gathered crucial intelligence from several of the town's most prominent dealmakers, tapping into their collective knowledge, predictions, fears, and lingering questions about this nascent company, insights that you, too, absolutely need to be privy to. Let's unpack the core issues. Why'd heavy checkmark who's truly steering the ship at New Paramount? This is the million-dollar question. We'll examine the Skydance executives and outside figures who are poised to assume control, along with the incredibly murky organizational chart that has insiders everywhere playing a guessing game. It's a leadership puzzle with high stakes. Why'd heavy checkmark could this be Spinco 2.0? There's growing speculation that Paramount might emulate Comcast's strategic playbook by offloading its traditional cable networks. What would such a move truly signal about the fundamental direction and future viability of the new company? This is a bold strategic shift that warrants deep discussion. Why'd heavy checkmark buyers are circling asterisk will pinpoint the 2 Paramount brands most likely to be put on the selling block, reveal who's currently doing their due diligence and kicking the tires, and analyze the types of deals currently being floated. The question is, which crown jewels will be sacrificed? Why'd heavy checkmark the lingering deal drought asterisk what exactly are agents and representatives saying about the current experience of trying to finalize deals with either Paramount or Skydance? The sentiment is grim, and it speaks volumes about the level of uncertainty. Why'd heavy checkmark inside a mausoleum asterisk this chilling phrase perfectly captures the current atmosphere. We'll explore how fear, pervasive silence, and overwhelming uncertainty are effectively freezing morale within Paramount's existing ranks. How do you motivate a workforce living under such conditions? Why'd heavy checkmark the 90-day countdown asterisk as the second merger extension officially kicks in? What critical elements remain shrouded in ambiguity? And perhaps more importantly, how are representatives strategically planning and gaming out this extended timeline? Every day counts. Why'd heavy checkmark could CBS follow Fox News? There's palpable chatter about whether the venerable Tiffany Network's news division, CBS News, could be spun off as part of a leaner, more focused corporate structure. This is a radical proposition that challenges long-held traditions and could ignite a major debate. Why'd heavy checkmark the Paramount Plus conundrum asterisk? Why do so many dealmakers harbor serious doubts about the future trajectory of the streamer, Paramount Plus? We'll explore what a potential licensing joint venture might look like as a potential lifeline. Is the streaming war already lost for some players? Why'd heavy checkmark total lack of plan asterisk even as the merger appears poised to clear its final regulatory hurdles? A significant number of influential dealmakers foresee even greater uncertainty on the horizon. This isn't just a simple acquisition, it's a redefinition of an entertainment giant, and the roadmap seems far from clear. What are your thoughts on this tumultuous merger? Do you believe New Paramount can navigate these choppy waters, or is this a recipe for continued chaos? Share your perspectives in the comments below. We want to hear from you.